Let me ask you the question, guys. Thank you for being here, by the way. Let me ask you the question. How did you actually perform this year? Like, did you hit your property targets? Like, if you did, congratulations. And if you didn't, well, now is the time to, reflect on what has happened. Ask yourself these questions, like, what were my property goals? And why didn't I achieve them? Why didn't I reach them? There's 3 main reasons why people don't achieve their goals. Number 1, they don't set goals. Number 2, they don't have a plan. And number 3, they don't stick to the plan. Like, I know this is common sense, right? But common sense isn't common practice. Plus, it's easier said than done. So setting specific, well thought out goals takes significant thought. Most people kind of borrow goals from others, or they make like some vague statements that don't really actually mean anything. Vagueness, I reckon, is synonymous with low performance. Like, that's my opinion. If you talk to a struggler, they'll use 100 words to say nothing. And you talk to a winner, quote unquote, and they'll convey immense meaning in just 3, 4, 5, 6 words, or even less. They're hyper specific, they're detailed. And the same is true for planning. These days people don't plan for anything. They wander around life, checking their feeds and seeing what next impulsive action they should take. Or if they do plan, it's, again, extremely, extremely vague. Like, by failing to plan, you're planning to fail. You've probably heard that a million times. And if you don't have a plan, you're becoming part of somebody else's plan. You don't want that. You don't want that. So that's why what you're doing right now, you're doing the right thing. You're at the best place. You're consuming the content, the type of content that is actually going to create a plan for you and make it actionable. In property circles, too many people talk about the what without the how. And it's actually the how that's the strategy. That is the plan. The objective is not the plan. The plan is how to reach the objective, right? That's so important. So I'm going to go into the mechanics here of something that's incredibly, incredibly important, and something that most people, especially first-time investors, so if you're a first-time investor, put your hand up, they assume that you have to get a professional, quote-unquote, to achieve this. How to buy a house at a discount, how to buy it off-market, right? Like, it's a hot market, it's a soft market, it's a cool market. How do we actually buy properties off-market? Without them being on real estate or domain. So this episode teaches you how to actually not only do what the quote-unquote professionals do, i.e. buyers agents, but actually how to beat the professionals. Anyone can do it. This is the how. This is the plan for how you should get that next property, right? Don't be vague. Be specific. I'm hoping I'm adding value. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Oz Property Investment Mastery Podcast. My name's PK, and I help busy people build passive income by buying top 5% growth and cash flow property and build a portfolio using data without wasting months doing research, spending weekends at inspection or catching flights, or dropping $10,000 to $20,000 on buyer's agents every single time. So if you're confused, lack confidence, and just overwhelmed with all the information and marketing misinformation available online and don't know where to start, then this show is for you. So first of all, what are off-market and pre-market properties? Basically, pre-market means finding out about properties that are not yet on realestate.com and domain, are going to be, but you're finding about them first. So you have an advantage when it comes to putting in an offer and negotiation. Off-market opportunities are those that simply will never make it to the market. There are various reasons this occurs. Right now, vendors may not know if their properties will sell or not, so they may not want to pay the $1,000 to $3,000 marketing costs of putting a property on realestate.com or domain. So they may tell the agent that, yeah, please sell my property, but I really don't want it on domain or realestate.com because I don't want to fork out $1,000 to $3,000. Sell it privately. Okay, so if you as an investor are just relying on realestate.com, that's fine. It's not a bad thing, but you're missing out potentially, and it depends where you are, where you're looking, you're potentially missing out on a lot of properties, a lot of stock. Okay, so how do we actually get access to this stock? How do we actually get access to pre-market and off-market opportunities? All right, it's not actually that hard. Oftentimes, buyers, agents, and others who, they're actually good at what they do, but they make it out to be some secret sauce, and they make it out to be something that's, some trade secret and only they have access to. They do a good job of it, but the reality is anyone can do this. Okay, you can do this, I can do this. I've done it so many times myself, and for dozens and dozens and dozens of people that I've educated and helped get into the property market and also accelerated their journey. But it's really easy. Okay, the first thing that you need for this to work is you need to be very crystal clear on where you want to invest. So you must have your suburb selection down to the T. Okay, so you need to have followed the system to find your top 2, maybe 3 suburbs across Australia. Okay, and then what you do is you go on to ratemyagent.com, which is a free website, and that website gives you the top real estate agents for every single suburb in Australia. So you go to that website, ratemyagent.com, and you hop on there and you put in the suburb that you're actually interested in buying based on all of your data that you've collated and analyzed and interpreted so far. And then you basically call the top 2 or 3 agents, if not more, in the area, and you just jump on and you just ask them, or you don't ask them, sorry, you just make yourself heard, right? So you just say, hey, look, my name's PK, I'm an investor, I have my pre-approval ready to go, I'm really interested in buying in this suburb, here is my criteria. Really important that you have a criteria, right? So this is the right pocket of the suburb that I want to invest in, this is the type of property that I'm looking for. And of course, we go through all of that in the education side of things, but you need to have that criteria really crystal clear. And when you tell your top 2, 3, 4, 5 agents that operate in that suburb, now you're on their radar. So anytime they have an off-market opportunity, anytime they have a pre-market opportunity, they know you, they know what you're looking for. It's almost like they're doing the work for you, because sometimes what I found is an agent will call me like a week or 2 after I've called them and say, look, I found a property. I wasn't even looking for it, right? I was doing something else with my life in the last 2 weeks. The agent has found the perfect property for me. They've called me, and by the way, it's off-market, it's pre-market, so there's no competition, or there's less competition, right? So it's not a catch-22. What's the opposite of a catch-22? It's like the best of both worlds, right? You're not actually having to do the work to find the property, and you found the perfect property, and you have less competition when it comes to negotiating and putting in an offer that gets accepted, right? So that's basically what you do. And what I recommend is when you do have your top 2 or 3 suburbs selected, every Monday morning or every Tuesday, and once again, this isn't rocket science, every Monday morning or every Tuesday morning, you call your top 2, 3, 4, 5 agents in that suburb that you're interested in, and just remind them that you exist. Hey, John, or hey, Bob, or hey, Fred, how's your weekend? Hey, look, just reminding you that I'm still looking for a property in the suburb. Once again, here's my criteria, bang, 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 bang. And then that just keeps you top of memory, top of mind for them. So when they have, an off-market opportunity or a pre-market opportunity, a seller that really wants to get rid of their home but really doesn't want people coming through for inspections, or a seller who doesn't want to spend $3,000 on advertising and just wants to sell them the property off market, that agent, they know that property will be perfect for you because they know you. They know the criteria that you're looking for. So they will call you, right? You won't find these properties on realestate.com. If there are buyer's agents operating in that area as well, then there's no reason that they will snub you and only give it to the buyer's agents. They'll give it to everyone, right? They're in their interest to get that property in front of as many people as possible because that increases demand, that increases competition. But generally the areas that, a bit of a plug here, if you are working with me, the areas that we generally buy in are not saturated by buyer's agents. We're buying at a different part in the cycle, and we don't really have much competition. So when we apply this strategy, and you can do this yourself as well, when you apply this strategy, if you're buying in the right suburbs, if you have a really crisp idea of where in that suburb you want to buy, then the real estate agent will do your research for you. They will find your property for you. B, you'll be, not needing, so to speak, and no disrespect, but you won't need a buyer's agent to find you these. You're finding, that real estate agent's giving it to you. C, you'll have less competition because these opportunities, these properties are pre-market, off-market, and it's just you and the vendor in some cases that are negotiating versus one another. There's not other parties involved. And, you're basically able through this way to negotiate and discount much more than what you would have been in most cases had you found a property on realestate.com. So there's so many advantages, but the key thing I want to leave with you guys is that you can do this. Okay? This is a DIY thing. You can do this yourself. There's not much more to it than what I've just said. Okay, so if you're thinking about, hey, I either do or don't know where to buy. Well, first of all, you need to get the suburb selection right. That's critical. That's the most important thing. You can find an amazing deal in a really poor suburb, and that's not a good property, okay? Getting a $20,000 discount in a suburb that's flat for the next 3 years is not a great outcome. All right, so the first thing is suburb selection, but if you have found your suburb, make sure that you give yourself an opportunity to find pre-market and off-market opportunities by going to Rate My Agent, by establishing a relationship with some top agents. Just a couple of calls every Monday morning. You should have your property in a month or 2 months or 2.5 months, right? Maybe you've spent 45 minutes cultivating that relationship, and they're bringing properties to you. Well, I do hope you got a lot out of it. I appreciate you spending time with me every single week, wherever in Australia you are, whatever you're doing while you're consuming this audio content. I really appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. And I just want to call out, I get so many reviews every single week. I want to call one out. They're saying, I've listened to many property investment podcasts by PK. By far has the most valuable resource. He explains everything based on data and shares some value insights that others won't unless you use their services. Very highly recommended ! I really, really appreciate these kinds of reviews, guys. They mean a lot to me. I'm recording this one at 9 p.m. on a Monday evening, so it's really a passion project. Thank you for being with me. If you do want to, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and I'll see you next week. Catch you later, guys. Bye.